The stars were bright and silent in the sky, but not all eyes looked at them with hope. Far across the galaxy, many great species had watched Earth from a distance. They saw humans as weak and fragile. The aliens called them the soft species, laughing at their small bodies and shaky technology. At the interstellar Concord, where many planets worked together, humans were new and strange. The other races had bodies made for harsh planets, strong bones, and fast healing. Humans, by comparison, broke easily. Their skin was thin, and their emotions were loud and wild. The alien scientists said humans would never survive in space. They said humans were slow learners, too scared to face danger. When the first alien ships arrived on Earth, humans were curious, but scared. They did not have big spaceships or powerful weapons like the aliens. They had small rockets and simple machines. Their cities were still growing, and their technology was young. The aliens watched humans with a mixture of pity and amusement. At the Galactic Council, the leaders called Earth a fragile world. They said humans should not be allowed to join the Concord. They will only bring problems, one council member said. Another laughed. They are too soft to fight, too slow to think. But humans did not hear the laughter clearly. They were busy trying to learn from the aliens. They wanted to prove that their small bodies and simple tools could do more than anyone expected. Scientists worked day and night, trying to build better machines. Soldiers trained harder, learning new ways to survive in space. On Earth, families told stories about the stars. Children dreamed of flying among them. Even though many humans felt weak, they never lost hope. They believed that one day the galaxy would see the real strength inside them. One young soldier named Alex looked up at the sky every night. His hands were small but strong from years of hard work. He knew the aliens laughed at him and his people. But he was not afraid. Alex wanted to show the galaxy that humans were more than fragile bones and soft skin. He wanted to show them that humans had fire inside. The first real test came when the Concord sent a team to meet the humans. The meeting was in a large space, station orbiting Earth. The room was cold and shiny, full of strange creatures with hard eyes. The humans felt nervous but kept their heads high. The alien leader, a tall being with blue skin and many eyes, spoke first. "You are weak," it said. "Your bodies cannot handle space. Your minds cannot match our technology. Why should we trust you?" Alex stood up. His voice was clear and strong. "We may be small, but we never give up. We have survived wars, storms, and pain. We learn fast, and we fight with heart. You may see us as fragile, but we carry a fire you cannot see." The room was silent. No one expected the humans to speak so boldly. Some aliens looked surprised. Others smiled with doubt, but the human team did not back down. After the meeting, the Concord agreed to give humans a chance. Not because they trusted them, but because they needed more allies. The humans were allowed to join as junior members, but many still laughed, behind their backs. They called humans soft meat in hard shells. It was a joke, but humans heard it too. Back on Earth, Alex and many others trained harder than ever. They built new ships and practiced fighting in spacesuits. They studied alien technology, sometimes copying it, sometimes improving it. But most important, they learned to work together. Humans could not match the power of other races yet, but they had something special: teamwork and spirit. Aliens often asked, "How can such a weak species hope to survive?" Humans answered by surviving every test. When other races fled from danger, humans stood firm. When others gave up, humans kept moving forward. The galaxy did not know it yet, but the humans were ready to change everything. One day, a message came from the edge of the galaxy. A terrible enemy, called the Zarketh, was coming. They destroyed planets and enslaved entire species. The Concord's armies were weak and afraid. They needed new fighters. The council looked at the humans again. Some still laughed, but some wondered if maybe, just maybe, this fragile species could help. Alex felt a fire burning inside him. He knew the time was coming to show the galaxy what humans were really made of. The laughter would stop, the weak would become strong, and the fragile species would walk through fire. The stars had always been a place of wonder for humans, but now they were a place of danger. The Zarketh, a fierce and terrible enemy, were moving fast. They attacked planets without mercy, burning cities and capturing thousands. Their ships were huge and powerful, filled with deadly weapons. The other species in the galaxy were scared. Many ran away, leaving their homes behind, but humans did not run. On Earth and other human colonies, people prepared for war. They built new ships and made better weapons. Scientists worked day and night, trying to find weak points in the Zarketh ships. Soldiers trained harder than ever. They learned how to fight in space, on strange planets, and even inside enemy ships. Alex, the young soldier from before, was now part of a special group called the Ghost Battalion. They were not the best soldiers by skill or tech, but they had courage. They did the jobs others refused, dangerous missions where the chance of survival was small. One day the Ghost Battalion was sent to a burning moon. The Zarketh had attacked and destroyed the moon's defenses. The mission was simple but deadly. Rescue any survivors and destroy the enemy's communication towers so they could not call for help. The moon was cold and dark, covered in ash and fire. The Ghost Battalion landed in small, old ships. Their armor was scratched, and their weapons were not the newest models, but their eyes were full of fire. Alex led the team. They moved quietly through the ruins, listening for any sign of life. Suddenly, a small group of human colonists appeared, hiding behind broken walls. They were scared, but when they saw the soldiers, they felt hope. "We will get you out," Alex said. "Stay close and follow us." The soldiers fought their way through the enemy patrols. The Zarketh were strong and cruel, but the humans used teamwork and clever tricks. One soldier used a simple but loud noise to distract the enemy, while others snuck around from behind. They captured a Zarketh drone and used its signal to confuse the enemy ships. As they reached the communication towers, the real challenge began. The towers were guarded by heavy weapons and many enemies. The Ghost Battalion had no big bombs or giant robots, only courage and small explosives. Alex took a deep breath. "We make this quick. Stay sharp." They moved fast, dodging lasers and jumping over burning rubble. The towers were taller than any building on Earth, shining with red lights. Alex climbed the first tower and placed the explosives. Seconds later, the tower exploded in fire and smoke. The other towers fell one by one. The Zarketh forces were confused and angry. Without their communications, their ships started to leave. The Ghost Battalion knew it was time to go. The rescue was not over yet. The colonists had no ships. The humans called for help, and other human ships came, dodging enemy fire to bring everyone to safety. Alex watched as families reunited, tears on their faces. It was a small victory, but it felt like a great one. Back on their base, the Ghost Battalion was quiet. They were tired, injured, but proud. "We may not have the best gear," Alex said, "but we have heart. We fight for each other. That is our strength." News of their success spread fast. Other species began to see humans differently. They saw how humans could survive where others failed. The laughter that once filled the halls of the Concord grew silent. The Zarketh were ruthless, but humans were stubborn. Where the aliens saw weakness, humans saw chance. They learned from their failures and grew stronger. In the quiet moments, Alex thought about what lay ahead. The war was far from over. The Zarketh were still coming, but for the first time, humans did not feel small. They felt like a force to be reckoned with. The galaxy had underestimated them, but now, the fragile species was fighting back with fire in their hearts. The Zarketh threat was closer than ever. Their massive warships moved toward the heart of the galaxy, the Concord's capital city, a place called Solaris Prime. It was the shining jewel of many species, with tall towers, sparkling lights, and millions of lives. But now, fear filled its streets. The great fleets that once guarded Solaris Prime were destroyed or scattered. The city's shields were weak, and the council leaders panicked. Inside the Grand Council Hall, the air was heavy. The alien leaders argued loudly. Some wanted to surrender, hoping the Zarketh would show mercy. Others wanted to fight to the last breath, even if defeat was certain. Outside, the people waited in silence, watching the sky darken as the Zarketh ships drew near. Messages of warning filled every channel. Panic and despair spread quickly. Many believed the end was near. But far away, beyond the planet's orbit, a small fleet approached, human ships. These ships were not the biggest or the strongest. Their hulls were scratched and battered from countless battles. Their designs were simple and old-fashioned compared to the sleek alien vessels. But inside each ship, brave men and women prepared. For what seemed impossible, Alex was among them. He stood on the bridge of one ship, staring out at Solaris Prime. Flames flickered from damaged buildings below. Smoke rose into the dark sky. The city was burning, but Alex's heart burned brighter. "Prepare for landing," the captain ordered. "We will clear a zone on the ground. The council expects us to fail." Alex's voice was calm but firm. "We will not fail. We have walked through fire before. We will do it again." As the ships entered the atmosphere, fire tore at their hulls. The heat was intense. Many ships lost shields and engines. Explosions rocked the fleet, but the humans pressed on. The landing zone was a courtyard in the city center, surrounded by tall towers. The ground was littered with rubble and burning debris. Incendiary mines had turned the area into a furnace. The heat was almost unbearable. Alex led his team down the ramps. The air was thick with smoke and ash. The sound of distant gunfire echoed through the broken streets. The Zarketh forces were everywhere, guarding the city's heart. Their soldiers were cruel and relentless. They attacked the humans with strange weapons that glowed with dark energy. But the humans did not hesitate. They charged forward, moving through flames and smoke. Their armor was heavy, but their will was stronger. Bullets and energy blasts hit them, but they kept walking. "Keep moving!" Alex shouted. "No one stops here!" The battle was chaos. Soldiers screamed and fell, but others took their place. The humans fought like they had no fear of death. They used simple weapons, but they used them well. One human soldier tossed a grenade into a group of enemies. Another hacked a drone with a simple device made from old parts. The Zarketh were surprised by the humans' courage and cleverness. Alex saw his teammates fall, but he kept moving toward the enemy's command post. He knew that if the command post fell, the Zarketh soldiers would lose control and the city could be saved. He reached the command post with only a few soldiers left. The building was guarded by heavy weapons and traps. Alex signaled his team. "We go in fast. No time for mistakes." They stormed inside. The air was hot and filled with smoke. The Zarketh soldiers fought hard, but the humans pushed through. Alex found the Zarketh leader, tall, armored, and dangerous. Their fight was brutal. Alex's armor was cracked, his arm injured, but he did not stop. With a final strike, he used his thermal blade to defeat the leader. The weapon glowed red-hot, slicing through the enemy's armor. The command post fell. Outside, the remaining Zarketh soldiers panicked. Without orders, they scattered. The city's defenders regained hope. The human soldiers helped the wounded and cleaned the area. They did not celebrate loudly. Instead, they looked at the ruins and thought about what was lost. Alex stood in the burning courtyard, breathing hard. Around him were the bodies of friends and enemies. He knew the fight was not over, but this victory was theirs. The council watched the battle through screens. The laughter and doubt were gone. Now they saw humans as survivors, not fragile, not weak, but strong and unyielding. Alex looked at the stars. The fire had tested them. They had walked through it and were still standing. The galaxy had changed forever. The battle for Solaris Prime was won, but the war was far from over. The Zarketh Queen, the cruel ruler of the enemy forces, had not been defeated. Her ship, larger than any other, hovered in the dark sky above the city. It was a fortress, filled with weapons and soldiers loyal only to her. The humans knew this was their biggest challenge yet. The Queen was clever and deadly. She commanded her armies with cold precision and showed no mercy to anyone who stood in her way. Alex sat with the Ghost Battalion, planning their next move. His arms still hurt from the fight at the command post, but his spirit was strong. The team gathered around the table, looking at the holographic map of the Queen's ship. "We cannot attack with big ships," Alex said. "Her defenses are too strong. We need to get inside and take her down from within." One of the soldiers, Mara, nodded. "It will be dangerous, but we are ready." The plan was simple, but risky. A small group of humans would sneak aboard the Queen's ship using old hidden cargo tunnels. They would move quietly, avoid detection, and reach the Queen's chamber. The night of the attack arrived. The human ships moved silently, hidden in the shadows of the larger fleet. Alex's heart beat fast, but he stayed calm. They entered the Queen's ship through a narrow cargo hatch. The air inside was cold and smelled of metal. The corridors were long and dark, with red warning lights, flashing. Every step was a test of their courage. Guards walked the halls, their weapons ready. The humans moved like shadows, using silence as their strongest weapon. Suddenly, a guard saw movement. A warning alarm blared. The battle inside the ship began. Alex and his team fought quickly and quietly, disabling guards one by one. They moved through the maze of corridors, following the map. They reached the Queen's chamber, a large room filled with strange machines and glowing crystals. The Queen stood in the center, tall and terrible, wearing dark armor that shimmered. She smiled coldly. "So, the fragile humans think they can defeat me." Alex stepped forward. "We are not fragile. We fight for our home and our future." Yea, Queen laughed, raising a powerful weapon. But Alex was faster. He dodged the blast and charged with his blade. The fight was fierce. The Queen was strong, but Alex fought with everything he had. He remembered the faces of his fallen friends, the families they saved, and the hope they carried. With a final brave strike, Alex's blade cut through the Queen's armor. She fell, her power broken. The ship shook as systems failed. The humans hurried to escape before the ship exploded. Back on their ships, the team watched as the Queen's ship burned and fell from the sky. The war was changing. The Zarketh forces were losing their leader and their will to fight. The galaxy watched in awe. Humans, once laughed at and called fragile, had walked through fire and emerged victorious. Alex and the Ghost Battalion became heroes, but they did not seek praise. They knew the real victory was in surviving, fighting, and protecting what mattered. The fragile species had proven their strength. The stars were no longer a place of fear, but a new home for humans, strong, brave, and unbroken. The Zarketh Queen was dead, her massive ship destroyed. The galaxy breathed a sigh of relief, but peace was still far away. The Zarketh forces scattered like broken stars, but they were not gone. Some fled to distant systems, others hid in dark corners of the galaxy, waiting for a chance to strike again. They were angry and desperate. Their pride was broken, but their hatred burned hotter than ever. On the human side, victory had brought hope, but also new challenges. The war had taken many lives. Cities were destroyed. Families lost. The survivors struggled to rebuild. Many soldiers, including Alex and the Ghost Battalion, felt the heavy weight of what they had endured. Back on Earth, the leaders held a great meeting. They talked about the future, about how to protect humanity from new threats and how to bring peace to the galaxy. Alex listened carefully. He was tired, but knew his duty was not over. "We cannot just wait," he told the council. "The Zarketh may be weak now, but they will return if we do not stop them for good. The council agreed to form a new alliance, a team made of many species, united against any threat. They called it the Fireguard. Alex and his team were asked to join. The Fireguard's first mission was to hunt down the remaining Zarketh forces hiding in a far system called Varek 9. It was a dangerous place, full of asteroid fields, dark space storms, and abandoned stations. Alex's ship entered Varek 9's system quietly. The stars around them flickered, and strange noises filled the communication lines. "This place feels like a trap," said Mara, the sharp-eyed soldier. "Be ready for anything." The team landed on a cold, rocky planet. The ground was cracked and lifeless. The air was thin, making it hard to breathe. As they moved forward, their sensors picked up strange signals, signs of life, but not human or Zarketh, something new. Suddenly, shadowy creatures appeared from the rocks. They were small but fast, with glowing eyes and sharp claws. They attacked without warning. The Ghost Battalion fought fiercely. The creatures were hard to kill, but the humans used teamwork and courage to push them back. After the battle, Alex examined one of the creatures. "They are not Zarketh," he said. "Something else. We must find out what." The team moved deeper into the planet's caves. There, they discovered a hidden lab filled with strange machines and alien technology. A hologram activated. A voice spoke in an unknown language, but the translation was clear. "Warning, containment breach. Biohazard level critical." The lab was experimenting with new life forms, mutations created by the Zarketh during their war efforts. These creatures were dangerous and unpredictable. Alex knew this was a new kind of threat, one that could destroy entire worlds if left unchecked. The Ghost Battalion set charges to destroy the lab. But as they retreated, the planet began to shake, violently. The Zarketh had rigged the lab to explode. The humans ran through collapsing tunnels, dodging falling rocks and fire. At the last moment, Alex leapt through a breaking wall and landed outside, just as the lab exploded in a massive fireball. Breathing hard, he looked at the sky. The war had changed again. The enemy was not just the Zarketh. It was whatever dark things they left behind. But Alex smiled. He felt ready for whatever came next. The fragile species had walked through fire, and now they were walking into the unknown, stronger than ever. The fireball from the lab explosion lit up the dark sky of Varek 9. Alex stood among the ruins, his breath steady despite the chaos around him. The mission was over, but the fight was far from finished. New dangers waited in the shadows, but the humans were ready. Back on their ship, the Ghost Battalion gathered. The loss of the lab was a blow to the enemy, but it also raised many questions. Who had created those creatures? Were there more labs? And what other horrors might be hidden across the galaxy? Alex looked at his team, tired but determined. "We have won battles, but the war is changing. We must stay strong, learn, and prepare for what comes next." The Fireguard Council agreed. They decided to send teams to find and destroy any other hidden labs. It was a new kind of war, one of shadows and secrets. Months passed. The Fireguard traveled from system to system, fighting strange creatures and uncovering dark experiments left behind by the Zarketh. Each victory was hard won, and each loss felt heavy. Alex grew as a leader. He learned not just to fight, but to inspire hope. His people looked to him for strength, and he never let them down. One evening, as they rested on a quiet planet, a message came from the outer borders. A new enemy was rising, a species unknown to the galaxy. Their ships were sleek and silent, their weapons advanced beyond anything seen before. The Fireguard prepared for the worst. Alex felt the weight of history on his shoulders. The fragile humans had walked through fire, but now a new storm was coming. He stood on the bridge, watching the stars. "We are not alone," he whispered. "And we never will be. The battle Ahead would be different. It would test their courage, their strength, and their unity. But Alex believed in his people. They had faced death and destruction and had come out stronger. The fragile species had become a symbol, a beacon of hope and defiance in a galaxy full of darkness. As the new enemy's ships appeared on the horizon, Alex smiled. Let them come, because, no matter what fire they walked through next, the humans would never break. They would fight. They would survive. They would win. The story of the fragile species was not one of weakness. It was a story of courage, heart, an unbreakable will, and this was only the beginning.